Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you a comparison video between the three main power boots from probably the three biggest brands in soccer right now, which is the Adidas adipower Predator, the T90 Laser 3, and the Puma PowerCat 1.10. Basically guys, I'm going to talk about mostly how talk about the shooting elements on each shoe and how their effects can vary, and then I'll give you guys a little bit of input on which one I think is the best, considering more than just what the pros are wearing. As far as comfort and fit goes, these shoes are all very, very similar. As you can see, all of the power boots, now anyways, are coming with the laces all on the side of the boot. They're offset to the side. The Pred, it's super comfortable. You get the suede heel liner. Leather's decently soft. It's a very, very wide fitting shoe, so definitely take that into note. It's probably one of the widest shoes I've ever worn. And take note that the leather is very soft and it will stretch on you at probably about a half a size. So if you do want them to fit tight and you're not growing anymore, I recommend ordering a half size down. The laser again is very comfortable. Here I have, this is the Elite version with the carbon fiber sole plate. The regular version fits very wide. The Elite version fits slightly narrower because of the sole plate, but it's still a pretty wide fitting shoe. It's very comfortable. It's got a nice padded memory foam tongue. Nike always makes really nice shoes. The shape is really good, considering that most of the shoe is a shooting element. The shape is perfect for that. And the only thing I can say is the Elite version can be a little bit stiff at first, but once you break it in, it's no problem. As far as the Puma PowerCat goes, it's probably about a normal to wide fit. It's not super wide, but it will fit a wider foot. When you first put them on, you'll notice that they feel very strange, really tight, and almost awkward, but once you do break them in and the leather softens up, these shoes fit really great and it wraps around your foot really good. And because the laces are so far to the side, when you do tie them up after they're broken in, it almost feels like the shoe has no laces. It reminded me of wearing the Lotto Zero Gravities, which is a laceless shoe, which is a really unique feeling because you don't feel any tightness on the top of your foot. Rather you feel it on the sides of your feet, which is definitely something different, and I really did end up liking it. On to the main reason of why, or at least why I think you should get a power boot, and that is the shooting element. The Predator shooting element is pretty minimalistic. It's not exactly big compared to other shooting elements, and you're really not going to notice any effects because it's never going to touch the ball when you're dribbling. Passing, you'll feel it a little bit, but not really. And I don't know, it's not the most noticeable shooting element, I would say. It does provide some pretty nice padding when you do strike the ball here, and because the rubber is very soft, it is pretty abrasive on the ball, so you will notice some added grip that you get on the ball. You guys can see from the camera, there's some slight grooves in the rubber. I don't know that it really does anything. Like I said, the effects I found when shooting the ball, you really couldn't add really much more spin, or it didn't feel like you could shoot the ball that harder. It was just there. It felt good when you hit the ball on it, but it wasn't, out of all three, it was probably my least favorite in terms of the shooting element, and kind of disappointing for a Predator shoe that I always felt was one of the best shoes for shooting. The laser is very unique in that the shooting element takes up a lot of the shoe, and it's probably the biggest shooting element ever done on a power boot. It takes up the whole instep of the shoe, so definitely take note that you will be making contact on the ball with rubber when you're dribbling, passing, controlling the ball. You're going to be touching rubber a lot anytime you're using the instep of your foot. But luckily it did work. I was worried about it at first because it did seem a little too aggressive. It's a little bit bulky. But as far as shooting goes, these big pads are supposedly memory foam that's supposed to correct your foot. I don't really understand how it works. It's kind of a lot of hype from Nike. It's just marketing tool, I think. really doesn't do anything. It's technology that they say is there, but may not actually be there. But as far as actually shooting the ball, this shoe feels really great shooting the ball. It is very padded though, so definitely keep that in mind. But if you do like a lot of padding, it's a very protective shoe, and I definitely found it really good for shooting. These little fins on here I felt had the most effect, although they do come off if you do get stepped on. They will scrape off. I found that they added a little bit of grip when you're trying to bend the ball, but again, the effects are minimal considering of how aggressive this shooting element is, which I was a little bit disappointed with as well. As far as the Puma PowerCat, I wasn't really too excited about this shoe, but it really did surprise me. The shooting element on the shoe is very unique in that it never actually makes contact with the ball unless you're shooting. As you guys can see, there's these little drops in the shoe, and the only rubber part is these little fins on the inside, which are actually in these drops. So if the ball comes like this, it never touches the rubber, so you only get the feeling of the kangaroo leather upper, which is really unique feeling. And I liked it that when you weren't shooting, just dribbling and passing and all that stuff, it felt like just a straight kangaroo leather shoe, which is never a bad thing, as for a soccer shoe anyways. But when you did shoot the ball, this rubber grabs the ball really well. It's soft and pretty abrasive, and it really did grab the ball well. I think part of the reason the shoe did feel so good is Puma uses this technology that basically reduces shock absorption when you do strike the ball on impact, which means that this material, the material on the top of the shoe here, it's kind of harder, and like if you understand, like on like a leather shoe, when you do strike the ball, there's padding, so the leather absorbs some of the impact of the ball. Basically, this shoe will not absorb any of the impact. So when you do strike the ball, you feel that, I would describe it as like a ping feeling, like if you were like hit a golf ball or something, where the ball just seems to like come off of your foot really fast, which is felt really nice when shooting, and probably why I really enjoyed using this shoe. I found the effects on this shoe the shooting element really does work. I was able to put some effects on the ball that are very difficult, and I really couldn't do consistently in other shoes, but I was able to do them fairly consistently in this shoe, which really surprised me. And I really do feel like the shooting element on this shoe really does work. If you can shoot the ball well, I feel like this shoe will help you a little bit. After having worn all three for a pretty solid amount of time, I'm sure you guys are wondering which ones are my favorite and how I would rank them as far as 1, 2, and 3. And if you wanted me to be completely unbiased and not look at who wears what on TV, it would go like this. My least favorite would be the Predator. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me, but for me, it didn't hold true to a power boot in my opinion. My second favorite would be the Laser. I felt like Nike did a good job in making a shooting boot. They really did the aggressive shooting element, which for me is, if you're going to market a power boot, it has to have something crazy in my opinion to really make for some kind of effect on the ball. But I have to say that my favorite was definitely the Puma PowerCat. It really surprised me, and I really do feel like this shoe can make you shoot a little bit harder, and it will help in making the effect on a certain type of shot a little bit better and a little more consistent. Whether you agree with me or not, that's how I felt. Another thing to consider when looking at all three of these shoes is pricing. Puma PowerCat, because Puma PowerCat is not very popular, you do see it get marked down pretty low, and it's you can really pick them up for some cheap prices, which is nice to see for such a quality boot. And really, for a $200 shoe, you can get it most of the time pretty easily for $130 to $100, which is pretty cheap for a top of the line soccer shoe. Another thing to consider is the Laser 3. This is the Laser 3. The Laser 4 has just been announced and should be out near the end of the month. So these are all on markdown, and you can pick them up for really cheap in either the regular version or the elite version. So if you're looking at that, that's something to consider, because you can pick them up again for around $100 for the regulars, and I'd say about $150 to $200 for the elite version, which is almost half price. The Predator is brand new, so it really hasn't been marked down all that much. So it is a full price shoe. For the full review on all of these shoes, because I didn't mention everything, if you want all of the details as far as like traction and weight and protection, anything else that you could possibly want to know, check out the review, on the full written review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. Just click the link in the description, guys. Another thing to check out is the deals that there are on my site, and for all these shoes, just check the super deals section. Again, click the link in the description to soccerreviewsforyou.com, and you'll find all the greatest online deals. I check it daily and update it, so you guys do, if you go on my website, that section of my website will have the best deals online. If you're interested in following my Facebook page, the link's in the description is that as well. Go and like that, guys, and I always post any latest content, or even I have some Facebook exclusive giveaways that I do, so definitely go check that out if that's something you're interested in. Make sure you guys comment, rate, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I wanted to ask you guys if you had any requests for any comparisons or a certain type of video that you guys wanted to see. Let me know in the comment section, as well as any questions you may have, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching, guys.